Welcome back, America. We're here with our friend Ben Shapiro. You know, Ben, the International Criminal Court, you know, when people hear about it, their eyes roll to the back of their heads. They don't know about it. They don't care about it. But we ought to care about it because this is a rogue, radical left, Marxist, Islamist European court that claims jurisdiction it doesn't have, even over individuals in the United States, from the president on down to, let's say, an army infantry soldier. And in Israel, they have literally indicted the prime minister of Israel and issued an arrest warrant, meaning anywhere he travels, any member state that belongs to the ICC is apparently obliged to pick him up and throw him in jail. Brian Mast and Chip Roy have led the battle to stop this. They just got a statute passed, or a bill passed in the House with bipartisan support. Last time this happened, it fell on Chuck Schumer's desk and he killed it. What do you make of Chuck Schumer? He claims to be this active Jew, the supporter of Israel, and he's the guy that stands in the way of this law?
Yeah, Chuck Schumer's a joke. And when it comes to his supposed status as what he calls Shomer Israel, he makes a joke about his name being Schumer. In Hebrew, Shomer means guardian. He suggests that he's a guardian of Jews or of Israel. That, of course, isn't true. He's the same person who also presided over the Iran nuclear deal under the Obama administration. So, you know, Chuck Schumer, it's not a surprise he's doing this, but that's because he's an internationalist. When you talk about somebody who's a true globalist, meaning that they want global rules to apply to the United States, Chuck Schumer comes at the top of the list. And there is no more globalist institution than the International Criminal Court, which, as you mentioned, claims jurisdiction over parties that are not even signatories to the ICC. That includes, by the way, not just Israel and the United States. It includes Russia. It includes China. It includes India. There are a wide variety of large states that are not members of the ICC. The ICC claims jurisdiction over pretty much everything. And then the idea is that if you are an American soldier who was, say, in the war in Afghanistan and they decide to indict you, that you could be arrested if you travel to Britain. You could be arrested if you travel to France. All the countries that are signatories to the ICC, as you mentioned, have a legal obligation under the ICC to actually arrest you and throw you in jail on behalf of the ICC, which, as again you say, is an internationalist organization that applies its rules on behalf of a coterie of people who really, really hate Western values.
And to underscore your point, in fact, the people who brought these charges against Netanyahu and others, it said they were funded by the Iranians. It's the South African government, which is virulently anti-Semitic, supported by the Irish government, which is virulently anti-Semitic, and some of these others, brought in front of a prosecutor as his own issues with respect to, shall I say, women. And so he's under investigation for that right now. But the court went along with it. As an institution, isn't this an utterly corrupt institution? And isn't it important that the Senate and Chuck Schumer get behind this and get this thing passed?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that the Senate is waiting on it is a disgrace. I do think that it's going to pass in the very near future, and it should. And I hope that it's the first step under the new Trump administration in really taking the wind out of so many of these awful international organizations, ranging from the ICC and ICJ to the United Nations itself, all these overweening international institutions that claim authority they don't have in the name of morality that they themselves refuse to define.
Joe Biden decided not to stop the ICC. He's put out some statements and so forth. He could have done a lot more, and he hasn't. But what he did do the other week is he handed out a Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor there is, to George Soros, who's one of the biggest self-hating Jews on the face of the earth, who funds all these radical left-wing organizations that seek to destroy the state of Israel. And by the way, left-wing organizations that seek to destroy the United States of America. What do you make of Joe Biden, his policies, awarding this medal to this kind of a reprobate?
I mean, I will admit that Joe Biden, without the shackles of possible reelection in front of him, you're getting to see the real Joe Biden. We were assured that he was a kindly old gentleman, and it turns out he's just an old gentleman. He's an awful person. The fact that he is giving the Medal of Freedom to people, including George Soros, just demonstrates what he is. The fact that, by the way, he decided to commute the sentences of 37 people on death row, including child rapists and murderers, shows what Joe Biden is. The fact that he's attempting to shut down oil drilling before President Trump can take office shows what he is. The Soros thing is just the most obvious example, because Soros is, in fact, one of the most nefarious forces in the West, using his funding to back some of the worst causes, ranging from radical anti-Semitic propaganda against Israel to pro-crime, absolute pro-crime prosecutors in the United States.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.